Let's talk about Liverpool, because they're top of the fucking league. We've got Craig from Anfield Agenda here. They've won 18 points from losing positions this season, including Darwin Núñez's last minute at St. James's Park, which killed me. Is it champion mentality? Is it luck? What's happening at Liverpool, bro?
I don't know. I really don't know, because I can't sit here and say we're playing teams off the park. We're not. But we do have something. I think it's the Jurgen Klopp DNA. I think it's the players he's brought in. You've got Trent stepping up. It's no accident that you score late goals. United did it for years and years and years. So this season, I didn't expect us to be where we are now. I didn't. Like you said, you're living the moment. So am I at the minute. I'm absolutely loving it. I remember being here last year and it was all going away. It just feels like we've got a free pass this year. We got a midfield rebuild that we all said might take a season or two to bed in. They've hit the ground running. It's just good times at Anfield at the minute. And it comes to the manager. I spoke earlier on about continuity. It's just having Jurgen there, that philosophy, having him around the club. We're in a really good position. I don't know if we'll win the league or not. I'm not arrogant enough to sit here and say we will win the league, but I tell you what, we're as good as anybody in the league. Yeah. And that makes me happy.
Do you know what? I want to hold my hands up and publicly apologise to Jurgen Klopp. Because, no, do you know why?
Yes.
No, I've always rated him as a manager. Obviously, when people put him in that conversation with Pep, I've always been team Pep. But last season, I was starting to think maybe the dynasty, it was diminishing. Maybe he'd been there for a while. What is this, his 7th, 8th season?
I think it's his 8th.
8th season. I was thinking maybe the players, can he go through another rebuild? Some of his players, Salah's getting older, Van Dijk. The way he's come back again, this is what a great manager does. Do you know what I mean? He brings in certain pieces, gets them on board quickly of what they need to do, figures out the problems, knows how to work out problems and find solutions. And for them to be top now and back where they were just a couple seasons ago, it's hats off. Full credit to Klopp.
You know what's mad as well? Like, when you look at Liverpool's attack this season, right? They've outscored anyone in the Premier League. They've hit the woodwork a fair bit more than anyone as well. So it could have been even more.
That was all Darwin, though.
Yeah. But like, when you look at their attack, the thing that I've probably been guilty of, maybe being a bit naive and looking at Liverpool in the past and going, yeah, they'll outscore their way to a title or outscore their way to a win. But actually, look at their defence this season. Now, you're maybe not going to think it off the back of a game where they conceded 3 against Fulham. They've got the joint best defence in the Premier League this season. They've conceded the least amount of goals alongside Arsenal, both on the same amount.
15.
Yeah. But the one key thing that would worry me, you got Mo Salah, who does what he always does every season. Really impressive and almost goes under the radar ever so like a little bit, because he's top scorer, most assists, but he's going to the African Cup of Nations in January, and that's where you're really going to struggle. You look at the fixtures you've got, the fact you've got Mo Salah going there. I think if you come through that and be as impressive, definitely results-wise, as you have been in recent weeks, that's when I think the penny starts to drop with people and they really start to go, right, now Liverpool are about it. Liverpool are right up there.
Do we feel like, look, every great team is reliant on certain star players. That's just normal, especially at the top. But looking at Mo Salah and Alisson, for me, they are monumental. Yeah. And when we talk about those, the lack of goals conceded, when I'm watching the game, it doesn't look like it, because Alisson is a wall.
I feel like I have to stand up for Virgil van Dijk here, because I didn't realise this, but there was a point this season, a couple of weeks ago, maybe a day, he was statistically the best defender in Europe, in the top 5 leagues in Europe. And we're seeing Virgil van Dijk from last season where he just wasn't himself. He didn't trust his body. When you have him back, and it's about the spine, you've got him, you've got Salah, you've got Alisson, best goalkeeper in the world. I think we'll all probably admit he's there or thereabouts. It's a joy, because I watched Liverpool for years on the Roy Evans, and as you said, we'll outscore anybody. We always had strikers, but we didn't have that spine of the team. We didn't have that defence. Virgil van Dijk is like a conductor back there at the minute. He's taken the captaincy and he's just taking control of the team. And Trent, I don't know what's happened to him, but he's like a man over the summer. Trent has just become this legend, this Steven Gerrard-esque type character. Even the shushing at Man City when he scored, I'm like, who's this kid? I love it. I absolutely love it, Brian. And it's Jurgen Klopp again.
Can I ask something? Do you think, though, that this... Because we call it mentality when you win games late on and you battle back, which Liverpool have been doing. Like you said, most points. What was it from losing positions?
18 from losing positions.
Is that something that could be...
Just for a bit of context, it's well ahead of everyone else. There's no one... Second isn't even worth it. Yeah. You know what I mean?
What I was going to say is, would you say there is an element of riding luck as well, though? Like, is this something that you need to start changing and make sure you're putting games away and not leaving it like this, because luck can run out in that instance?
100%. We've started way too slowly, far too many times this season. And you're right, we've got life and death at the end of the games that we shouldn't have. So you're 100%. Oh, yeah, we do.
Are we not in agreement, though, that no one's playing great? Out of all of the top teams, I mean, you could even argue Villa might be the best football inside up there at the times this season. Like, it's so hit and miss as to who's actually played the best football up there. Speaking of the game yesterday, specifically, Ayew got sent off. Do we think that was a red? Do you think that was fair? I thought that was harsh, personally, the Palace lad.
Yeah, it was harsh. It was harsh.
I thought he was stupid. I thought I'd say the first yellow, we see people get away with that all the time. We do. But the foul, I thought that was a foul. That was a yellow card. He did stop a counter. But yeah, I could see. But when I heard Roy Hodgson talking about time wasted, I was like, no. They were rolling and falling around that floor for ages. I thought I was watching your team. I thought I was watching Newcastle. And
mate, I tell you what, there's a lot of teams who are worse than Newcastle. Mate, Arsenal were a nightmare for it when we played them. But sorry, Arsenal fans. Palace 17 fouls to Liverpool 17. Roy Hodgson pointed that out. 8 cards for Palace, 1 to Liverpool. So what he was insinuating is there's this like big club agenda. Whether he's right or not is,
I didn't see that big club agenda when the ref couldn't run to the penalty spot quick enough, even though Endo was getting pushed over on the way. I didn't see the big club agenda there, to be honest. I didn't see the big club agenda when they took, a light year to award the penalty in the second half when we were 4 or 5 minutes into it. So
you didn't see the Anfield agenda?
That's always there, mate. Always there.
What about Harvey Elliott then? What's your take?
I love him. I love him so much, mate. And I'm so happy that he's getting the plaudits he is. Statistically, Jurgen loves him because he's a pressing machine. He has counter press stats that are off the charts. But the stat that got me yesterday, and I hope you'll all agree, it was him coming on that changed that game for us yesterday. He made everything tick. He had 100% pass success. He's just growing into it. Problem is, I look at him and I see a James Milner type character where, do I know his best position? Yeah. Do I know where he's going to be in that Liverpool team every single week? I don't know if it's okay that I don't know the answer to that, but he is still a young lad. So there is time.
He's grown on me a lot. Like early on, I was like, he's all right. Maybe he's like Jones.
He's a good kid as well.
But
he's a good kid.
Have improved a lot, and like obviously a few more years in football will do that. 200 goals for Mo Salah.
Insane.
The level of reliance on Mo Salah for Liverpool is, I know they've got other big players as well, but like he's such a special player. As I said earlier in the stream, when the Saudi lot first bought Newcastle, he was the one they had their eyes on before anyone. And now clearly they still want him, but now just to go and play in Saudi. Maybe we'll get a cheeky little loan deal out of it. Imagine that. But no. What happens then when Saudi come back in with 200 million for him in the summer? It seems inevitable that he'll probably end up going.
The worrying thing for me is that I'm not hearing any talk of a contract extension. Like he's got 1 year to go at the end of this season and we're not hearing anything. Yeah. He looks happy. He looks settled. I really struggle to understand this. It's almost like the club they don't want to make the decision. They want it to be taken out of their hands and it to be such a ludicrous offer.
Also, they didn't really want to give him the level. Like it took a lot for them to give the money that he ended up getting, and I think for them to give him another extension, I don't know. Liverpool are very frugal compared to a lot of those other top clubs.
If ever somebody deserved a wage structure broken, it was Mohamed Salah. As you said, 200 goals for Liverpool, 150 in the Premier League. He's breaking records for fun. And you touched on it earlier on. I don't think he's a player that relies on pace too much at this stage. It's the assists he's adding in. I remember when Harry Kane got a little bit older and he started dropping a bit deeper for Spurs and he started laying on assists. I'm seeing that with Mo and Darwin now and the way he's altered his game. I cannot say enough good things about Mohamed Salah. It is a pleasure and a privilege to watch that man play week in and week out because there's nothing he doesn't do right. He's got the attitude, he's got the charisma, he's got the humbleness. He's just a joy to watch, Brian.
200 million at 32 years old next year. You wouldn't take that?
I don't think anyone's paying 200 million. Honestly,
150.
1 year to go on his deal. Look, there does come a time where you look at the front three and go, okay, we lost Firmino for nothing. We lost Mane for about 30 million. Do you want to lose Salah for nothing in a year's time?
You can reinvest.
You could. It's a really difficult question to answer.
There's the rumours of Mbappe. We might as well bring them up.
Look, I'm going to say what I said to you earlier on. If I lose Mohamed Salah, I want Jarrod Bowen. And people are going to laugh at me about that. But I honestly think you could just drop him straight into our system and he'd be perfect. Mbappe, there is There's a long story with Liverpool and Kylian Mbappe that goes back 6 years when John W. Henry flew him and his representatives on his jet around before he signed for PSG from Monaco. And they've kept in contact. His mother's a self-professed Liverpool fan. There's the whole Nike LeBron thing. So there's lots of things that make me think it's possible. But then I remember who owns us. And then I'll get back to this frugal mentality that you're speaking about.
Mbappe don't want no frugal shit. He's like, I want all of the money.
Yeah.
Innit? Like, he is a nightmare to deal with.
If you can lose Salah and get Mbappe, that's a win.
But if there was ever a time, because we said, okay, you said 100 million for Mo, right? So you get the 100 million. Well, the extra signing on bonus. So that's that done. So we've boxed that off. Mo makes £1 million a week, according to his representative, Rami Abbas. He was giving a speech in Harvard. He said Mo makes £1 million a week all in. So we can probably get up to 1.5 for Mbappe. Oh. Problem is, and this is genuine, that would split the Liverpool fan base down the middle because a lot of them just don't want Mbappe.
I don't like him anymore.
Why?
His attitude stinks. Like, yeah, he's. This is the thing.
Yeah, but his level of talent, I think someone like Klopp, first of all, could get maybe, if there's any manager in world football that can maybe get him under wraps, is someone like Klopp. He runs iron fist. But second of all, it's just he's a generational talent. Who wouldn't want a generational talent at their team?
If anyone can give Klopp problems, it's Mbappe as well, though. Like Mbappe's got a nasty little attitude on him from everything I've experienced when I've been like hearing things from me. And he, like the way he went on at mega clubs like Barcelona, like PSG with the lads from Barcelona, the way he out-diva'd Neymar and Messi, like after everything they've achieved, he still was the problem.
There's a big difference between strolling down the Champs-Elysees and strolling down Matthew Street, mate. Do you know what I mean? He's not going to get away with it in Liverpool. Yeah. Look, the answer I have to that is, if it got to the point that he was signed, I would fully expect that Jurgen Klopp would have done his research on the background. Because he's not going to bring a troublemaker in.
He's not really a party boy as well, though. He might be a bit of a prima donna, but he's not.
He likes the celebrity circles, but I don't think he's a drinker.
I don't think any Liverpool fan wants to see a player walk in if things aren't going right for him and stuff like that. And we've seen clips of him doing that. I think it was last season. There was a bit where he didn't get the pass he wanted when he wanted it when they were breaking, so he just walked into the box for the rest of it. And that sort of stuff might fly in Ligue 1 where you're in the best team, and let's be honest, it's a bit of a one-horse race. Tell you what, if you're playing at Anfield, I don't think that flies at all.
Have you seen his numbers this season? They're crazy. For someone that was supposed to leave and has stayed, he's gone.
Didn't do much against Newcastle.
I can't get past the World Cup final, though. He was so...
Yeah, that was...
a hat-trick in a World Cup final.
Yeah, but like, but the point I'm making is like, when I watched him against Newcastle, I was staggered at how non-existent he was in that game. He didn't fucking make any difference in either two games. Jurgen Klopp, one last thing. What about that issue you had with that reporter, where the reporter was like, your favourite kickoff time? And then Jurgen went at him a bit. What did you make
that? That was a bit much, because I almost felt sorry for the reporter in a way, because the reporter did not expect it to be like that. And I think sometimes, like, you can't put enough emphasis on actually how hard it can be to be a reporter's job. Like, you know, you're interviewing Jurgen Klopp, it's a big moment, probably a passing comment, and Klopp did not like it at all. I can sympathise with Klopp as well, but I just think in that situation, it's like, don't mug him off too bad.
He does have form for being a bit snidey. Even to Liverpool fans at times, he'd spoken about
that
us wanting the new players, like, no, Klopp.
Oh, Klopp.
He once wanted new players were like kids wanting more toys at Christmas. And
that stuff. Really, the Ferrari.
That doesn't sit well.
He compared Bellingham to a kid wanting a Ferrari at Christmas, and I was like, not really the same though, is it?
You know, the bit I found funny, like from the outside looking in, right, is like, Klopp sort of addresses what the reporter said, and he said, I can't believe you asked me that. Then he carries on talking for about a minute, and then he comes back to it again. So it's like, that had you rattled, didn't you? Playing on your mind.
I used to really like Jurgen Klopp, like, as a person as well as a football manager. Now I have ultimate respect for him as a manager, but there's been so many like incidents where he's come across as a nasty piece of work.
It can be a bit hit and miss.
He's our shithouse. That's the thing.
Yeah,
he's like a player. He's ours, and we love him. He's got faults. We'll see them. But there's also the other Jurgen Klopp thing about, look what he has done. Like, he's like a god to us.
You know, he can be a bit hit and miss, though, in the way that he does respond to these things. Because, like, say, for example, what was the game we thought he was going to come out and go mental?
Spurs.
That was the Spurs game, right? So the Spurs game, we thought he was going to lose his shit. Comes out, almost over dignified, really like dignified, doesn't, things came out in later days, but doesn't rise, doesn't take the bait where you think he was gonna sort of thing. Yeah. Then, for example, in that one with the interview the other day, the guy makes like a passing comment. It's not even like he's trying to dig him out, and he loses his shit almost over it. So it's like, God, let us have a bit of consistency, mate.
I really think the 12:30 thing is just really pushing his buttons.
He has got a point though, because I think if you look at the last however many years, I've seen some stat like Liverpool have got more than double anyone else's early kickoffs.
The thing is, when that guy says, yeah, your favourite kickoff, I would say, yeah, it's a joke, isn't it? Like, something like that, and then just make a laugh of it. But yeah, it didn't seem to go down well.
You and Jurgen, man, you're just not the same.
But I think we're forgetting one thing in all this. You don't get to the level in life that a footballer or these managers get to without having that snidey streak. Yep. You have to have that somewhere. Maybe you don't bring it to the fore all the time, but it has to be there somewhere.
No, I agree. I think these winners, like we've seen Pep and Arteta, and they're all bastards, aren't they? Let's be honest, they all have to be to some degree. In terms of Arsenal and Liverpool, do we think that Arsenal being in the Champions League and Liverpool being in the Europa League is an advantage to Liverpool in the sense of, like I've said from a Newcastle perspective, we're being tested to a high extent in the Champions League, whereas obviously in the Europa League, maybe Liverpool, 90 minutes is 90 minutes, but you're not going life and death, and at some point Arsenal will be going life and death a lot sooner than Liverpool will. You'd think. I don't know if
I think it evens itself out.
Could you argue that it's actually beneficial to be in the Champions League, because the Europa League is Thursday night? It's tough games. You got to
a lot of time, longer travelling.
Yeah, exactly.
You're playing second as well. If you're in the Europa League, you're playing the Sunday 2:00 slot a lot, whereas Arsenal might get to play their Saturdays, and you want to put the points on the board, so you want to be playing first.
The point I was making is that the level of competition in the Champions League requires more demands from the physicality of it. So maybe Liverpool might have an advantage.
I think it evens itself out. I think that you're right, but then there's certain things that will go in Liverpool's favour, and I think that also the fact that, let's be honest, Liverpool have come through their group top, and they haven't even really had to always be starting their star names in that competition. They have got good amounts of depth, especially in the attacking areas, Liverpool. So I think it sort of evens itself out. But do you know what I would say? If you're going on the level of competition, the more likely chance of either team going deep in their respective competitions is obviously Liverpool. Liverpool have got a more likely chance of getting to the final of the Europa than Arsenal have of getting to the final of the Champions League.
I'll tell you what, I wouldn't be surprised if Arsenal did go far in the Champions League. I mean, like,
it's in Wembley, right? The final?
I think so.
Yeah.
Obviously, Arsenal are a good team, but like, it's the style of football they play. It's very controlling. It's very hard to, like, it's just difficult to beat those motherfuckers. Like, you've got to be perfect. Like Newcastle were in that one game in Villa, and even still you might not do it. So I think they'll go pretty far. If we had to choose, just going around the table now to vote, obviously I know where Craig's vote is going to go. Out of Arsenal and Liverpool, who is the bigger threat to Man City? Start with you, Joey.
I say Liverpool.
Liverpool?
I say Liverpool for the reason Joey said earlier on, that muscle memory.
You've been there, done it, got the t-shirt.
And against City as well.
Craig?
I want to say Liverpool. And because I think Jurgen Klopp's the better manager than Arteta. But I just think Arsenal are just so hard to beat, man. They just look so... You only lost one game, right? How many games you lost?
We lost to you, that's it.
One game, yeah. I'm going to go Arsenal. Reluctantly.
How big is this game, by the way, coming up this month?
You got them 3 times in a month.
Yeah. We've
2 in the league and in the cup.
Yeah, we've got the cup sandwich in the middle, yeah.
What are you saying, Josh?
I just think Liverpool got that staying power. They've been in title challenges before, and I know Arsenal have as well, but I just think they'll be better in the title challenge. And so I really do back Liverpool. I think they'll be right up there, and I think it might be Liverpool's year.
Fuck me. I'm going to say, you know what? If Jurgen Klopp was manager of Arsenal, I'd be all in on Arsenal.
Not even a manager of Arsenal, just if Jurgen Klopp had Rice.
Yeah, something
just
like
that.
Yeah, literally like that. For me, I believe in Klopp as much as I don't like him as much as I used to.
Remember Salah leaving though?
Yeah.
If when all's said and done, the brilliance of Jurgen Klopp and what he's done for the Premier League over years, if at the end of it you said all that, but he only won the league once, I'd go, nah, surely not.
That's my biggest fear, mate.
One in
I've said
7
that
is
all
bad.
along, is to look back at this time of Klopp and have won.
Well, don't worry, when Man City get convicted, all of the titles will be given up to you anyway.
Convicted.
That's a great point. Like Klopp's greatness deserves a legacy more than what he has been given, but obviously he was competing against a team that were outspending him.
No,
that's a big deal. And when you've got no, it is a big deal.
You get what you win. And that's rich coming from me as a Spurs fan. But you get what you win. That's it.
Yeah, but
I've got to go and win it.
I just think the fact that the charges are there, the money, it does have. It helped them. It helped Pep massively. But I'm going to say Arsenal for me. But it's it's razor close. It's that. After playing Arsenal and Liverpool both at St James's, I think that was quite you learn a lot. And against Liverpool, up until 89 minutes, I thought it was quite a comfortable game for us. And obviously things changed. Newcastle are now in a bad bit of form, whatever. Against Arsenal, we really struggled to get a kick of the ball at times. I mean, it was another level of control. I think Liverpool are in a different place than what we were. Now they're evolving and they're getting used to those players bedding in, and it was a different version. But it left an impression on me of, fuck me, like, we beat you, but fuck me.
We are usually a second half of the season team, though. We do come strong. In the
and the irony is we lost against Liverpool and we beat Arsenal. I'm still sitting here saying Arsenal. But yeah, that's my pick.